Hello, today we'll be looking at changing the subject of a formula. We have already learned what a formula is. A formula tells us how to find a certain property or a certain thing about a shape, let's say. So in this example, to find the area of a semicircle, we will have to rely on the formula area equals to half pi r squared. In this case, you realize that on the left-hand side, you have the unknown a, the variable a, and the letter a on the left-hand side refers to the subject. Okay, whereas on the right-hand side, we have another variable, which is r squared. So we would say that in this case, the formula has a subject of a written in terms of r. Okay. Now let's turn to Mathematics Tutor 2A, page 209, and we're going to take a look at the work examples, and let's see how we're able to change the subject of a formula. Now, when we talk about changing the subject of a formula, in this case, make x the subject of this formula, we are going to leave x on the left-hand side of the formula, and every other variable goes to the right-hand side. Take note that when x is the subject, the coefficient of x will also be 1. Alright, so in this case, how do we make x the subject? Let's start by moving all other terms that have no x in them to the right hand side. So we are going to move minus 3y over. So we have this. And next, how do we make the coefficient of x become 1? We divide everything by half, or alternatively, we can multiply each term by 2. So we'll get x equals to 6y plus 10. And there you see on the left hand side, you have x with coefficient 1, and the right hand side will be 6y plus 10. So this formula has a subject of x written in terms of y. So this is the answer. Now next, we'll take a look at the second example, where you have 3 out of x minus 2 equals to 1 out of 1 minus y. In this case, you realize that the left-hand side is a fraction and the right-hand side is not a fraction. How are we then going to make x the subject? Now bear in mind that on the right-hand side, 1 minus y can also be written as a fraction. So how can we write this as a fraction? This implies that 3 out of x minus 2 equals to 1 minus y out of 1. Now in this case, you realize that it looks like something familiar. You have a fraction equals to another fraction, and when we have this condition, we can easily cross multiply. So let's cross multiply. When we cross multiply, on the left hand side we have x minus 2, 1 minus y, and on the right hand side we have 3. Let's expand out. So when we expand out, we have x minus xy minus 2 plus 2y equals to 3. Okay, now due to constraint of space, I am going to continue my working by the side here. Alright, so let's see, to make x the subject, every term that has no x in it, we are going to move it to the right hand side. So minus 2 has got no x, plus 2y has got no x in it. I'm going to move these two terms to the right hand side. And the first two terms, x and minus xy, will remain on the left. Okay, so we will end up with this. Okay, now what can we do next? You realize that each term on the left hand side has got an x in it. Over here, we will have to deploy factorization. Let's factorize x out of each term. Okay, there you see, left hand side is made out of x and being multiplied by 1 minus y. So how can we bring 1 minus y over to the right hand side? From here, we divide both sides by 1 minus y. And there you go, x is the subject of the formula now.